Welcome to another episode of the All Tens podcast. Normally, I'm your co-host, Josh West, but today Clay and I are trying something a bit different, and I am going to entrust him to interview some of my clients. Please enjoy.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for trusting me with your client. I'm here today with Dallin and Spencer from Rainforest. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining the All Tens podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Before we dive into EOS stuff, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Tell me a little bit about Rainforest. What do you guys do?
Well, Rainforest is a plumbing and air conditioning business located in Phoenix, Arizona. Dallin and I are second generation contractors. So our dad started the business 26 years ago. And as we've sort of grown up in it, and we've dug our fair share of trenches and hung out in attics long enough. And we're sort of taking over the business. And Dallin and I, as it pertains to EOS, I'm the visionary and Dallin's the integrator. And that's been a pretty revelatory experience for us to sort of get a framework to understand who we are individually. And it when we first heard about EOS, it was pretty it just clicked that this is something that was naturally in place, and then we just have like instructions now. So
Right.
It's a little bit about us.
Yeah.
Dallin, did I miss anything?
No, I'm Dallin Tippetts. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Rainforest, and like Spencer said, I am the integrator. And I think we've Rainforest for all of its existence has been a bootstrapped, very capable, determined, scrappy business that we've had to come by our victories with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And we still stand by all of that. And we're just delighted that we found EOS to kind of take us through the ceiling and into the next chapter of where we want to take this business. So we're very excited for it.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear more of the story. Maybe I'll ask you later, but since we're diving into the EOS stuff, tell me when you kind of found EOS, what is the origin story of the EOS world? What were you feeling in the business? What were the kind of things that you were hoping to fix, or the things that weren't doing exactly what you wanted them to do? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we have a pretty good habit of doing shop tours. So we find companies that are similar to ours in different markets who we don't compete with, and we can usually share information pretty freely. Well, I had embarked on one of these shop tours in Calgary, and I remember walking around the building, getting the tour, and then sitting down with their leadership team. And I remember going, why does everybody here feel so confident? What is that? Like it was a palpable thing. And they ended up, it was funny. They kept saying things like big, hairy, audacious goal and our scorecard and our leadership team. And I was just like, dang, what? They have like a name for everything. This is crazy. So anyway, it was revealed that they were operating on EOS, and I remember they brought up, they're like, have you read the book Traction? I go, wait a minute, that's a book that somebody gave me, and I frisbeed into the back of my closet years ago. So anyway, I raced home from this trip, and I got with Dallin, and we got copies of the book, and we had it read within 48 hours of me hearing the acronym for the first time. And go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just about to say that I remember we had taken a trip just right after that for another conference that we were going to, and so we had a ton of time to read. And I think we were sat next to each other on the plane reading Traction, and we kept like underlining things or taking notes, and we'd turn to each other and be like, are you reading what I'm reading? Is this
a prank?
Yeah, is this not completely describing what we're going through? And I
Right.
think for us, what was the magic of it was Spencer and I, we have a dynamic that comes from obviously being brothers, but we weren't ever able to sort of um, clearly identify or label what it was that made us the same but different. And I think that's been kind of the magic recipe there of our relationship as it pertains to the business, is that we could take those things that we knew Spencer was good at and we knew that I was good at, and then meld them together and give them a real purpose. And we say, oh, okay, that's that's why we are different. You're a visionary, I'm an integrator, right? And so it was such a breath of fresh air to be able to make it official, so to speak.
And it's so nice to like finally put a name on something that you've been kind of experiencing your whole life and realize that there's systems around this. Yeah. I had the
Uh-huh.
exact same experience. I started a business with two other business partners. There was three of us. And for years and years when it was working, it was great. And when it wasn't, it wasn't. Right. And so like when we kind of like finally put that accountability chart together and we were like, all right, oh, this is mine. I got it. Right. And so that's pretty cool. So how long, this wasn't that long ago, was it? How long ago was this that you were on that airplane?
This
This was
was about 10 months ago, maybe.
Okay, cool. And then how did you end up finding Josh?
yeah. So we on the direction of this friend that we made in Calgary, they recommended we get an implementer, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. That like we get it. So I went to the EOS worldwide website and I just searched for implementers, and I looked at just countless people's faces, and I looked at we saw Josh's, and I looked at it and I said, man, he's got the best looking headshot on this list. So I said, I'll just start with him,
Yeah,
and
No further research was done.
yeah,
it's
did not
awesome.
get any kind of like we didn't interview anybody else. There might be some really great ones out there, but we did our 90-minute session with Josh, and it was just like it was like he was one of us. It was the craziest thing. It was
That's cool.
in fact Josh has described it as sort of a cosmic connection, because we have a lot of similarities in our careers, and uh, anyway, he just ended up being just a perfect fit for us.
So, sometimes when you judge a book by its cover, it works out. It's just the way it
Exactly.
goes.
It ended up being a good book.
That's right. And so you did the 90 with Josh, and then I guess you jumped right in, focus day, vision building day, all that kind of stuff. As you think back on that journey, you're out of that part of it now. You're just in the execution part of implementing EOS, right? When you think about focus day, vision building, where you answer the 8 questions on the VTO, kind of, does anything jump out at you as like, I know you read the book, got all the kind of aha moments as you're reading the book, but in the session room, in fact, the majority of people who implement EOS don't use an implementer. As we think about kind of going fast and going as far as we can, what jumps out at you from the session room as kind of being like, oh, this is why we have an implementer.
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit ago that Rainforest has been, from day one, just built off of sheer grit and determination, and like I said, blood, sweat, and tears. And with that comes a ton of passion, right? Because it's part of us. And so our dynamic is both a work one and a family one. And
Ooh.
so in the room on those first forays with Josh was myself, Spencer, and then our dad, who's the founder and CEO of the company. And we all we had, similar drive, a little bit different ideas of how to get there. But everything that we were talking about was sacred to us, right?
Mm.
This is not just a business, it's the family business. And so I think it was really helpful for us to have um, a impartial third party, you know, and that's what we had in our implementer with Josh, is that he could kind of see through where the passion may have been clouding the vision that we needed to have in order to
Hmm.
go where we needed to go. And so that was helpful for us, and again, kind of unique to us as a family business.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Um, Spencer, does that resonate with you too?
Oh, totally. I think especially in a family business, I mean, passions run hot, and we we have tremendous respect for each other. We've all been in the battle together, and so we all know what each other is capable of. But it's really hard when you respect your dad, for example, and you need to tell him to, like, hey, like, we got this, and also, like, we'll be here every day. Um, and that, if you don't have some help with that, it comes off different. It comes off wrong. And it's the beauty of EOS is just what is what is everybody's role here? And
Right.
I think partnerships of all kinds, whether they're familial or just traditional business partnerships, um, they probably perish more often than not because of just role clarity. And that's been, in the last 10 months, that's been like the name of the game. It's just something goes wrong and it's like, this is a marketing thing. Marketing, here you go. Instead of us all being mad at each other or whatever, it's just been, yeah, there's traction. Like, there's a reason they named the book that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I think
That's great
for
insight.
me too, it's all that passion that we talk about is good, and it should be channeled and used, right, to better the organization. And I think
Mm.
something that has come out of all of this is that we don't have to sort of set the passion aside, right, and ignore it. Like, ooh, we don't want to get too passionate about it, but we want to take that and say, okay, what parts of that compromise or comprise the greater good, right? And that's actually become one of our core values that we've identified in this process of working with Josh, is to seek the greater good. And we want everybody in the organization to do that, including us. So,
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome, Matt. And actually, I wanted to ask you, like, you've done all that work as a leadership team to start using the tools, accountability chart, L10s, all those sorts of things. You answer the questions on the VTO, and you're probably at some stage of rolling out EOS into other parts of the company. How how's that going? What has that been like? What has the feedback been from the team?
Okay, so Dallin is he's diabolical. Um,
Okay.
he coined a term called shadow implementation.
Okay.
And that's where we essentially took the principles that we were learning and we began, maybe to Josh's chagrin, implementing simultaneously
Okay.
at all levels.
All right.
And it's a really a kudos to our team because they were on board with us from the beginning, and they're willing to just kind of play full out with this. And then a tribute to Dallin's leadership for being able to rally everybody behind this. And so yeah, I guess I've forgotten the question, but it was it, shadow implementation is like we could write
All right.
a book for the Passion
Well,
Library here.
I love it. Let's do it. All right, Dallin, how's the team received the shadow implementation?
sure, yeah. So at this point, we're well into it, and nothing's in the shadows. It's all out there. We've distributed copies of What the Heck is EOS, Traction, a few other books, and so they all know about it. But in those early days, it was very much just, let's take a concept that can resonate with people here, and let's start having regular weekly meetings as a leadership team. What is a leadership team, and identifying who's going to be on that. All of these things were just, there were a few things here and there that were easy to slip in, as a concept, not directly associated with EOS.
Hmm.
But I'm happy, and I wear this as a badge of honor and pride, is that I think while Josh has never told us to, like, whoa, slow down, he would never say that. Uh, I'm happy that I think we've caught him off guard on a couple of occasions with just
Nice.
how much we've been able to distribute to the team. But it comes back to that idea before, is that um, when we had to do the right people, right seats exercise, right? Um, there were very few people in the organization that weren't already a great fit. I'm
Mm,
really proud of that. And what that meant for us was that when we were introducing concepts for real, and bringing it out of the shadows, there wasn't a lot of resistance. And so
right.
there wasn't a need to go slow. We could go fast. And
Yeah.
And
that's what we want to do.
I don't want to mislead and because there might be people listening who think, oh well, this is going to be super easy. There were casualties in this process, and what's crazy though is the book, Traction talks about that we choose 36 hours of pain, right, by like making the decision to like part ways with somebody. And it's funny, you asked the question, my initial reaction is it went great. Well, there were some dark times in the last 10 months. And but on the other end of those things, it's like, oh my gosh, this is just so much better. And so the speed is actually sort of that's the primary benefit of this is we're able to iterate ideas way faster than before. And you come into the meeting structure is fantastic. We get to an issue with the scorecard, then the next week you come and the scorecard metrics still down, and it's like, okay, we didn't do well enough that time. No one has to say that you're wrong or whatever. It's just like, let's go back in there, let's figure this thing out. And we're going through one right now where some stuff's not working, and it's like, okay, hold on, let's zoom out here. And we've sort of shifted our mindset on this particular issue. And I don't think we would have done that in the past. It would have been a lot of energy going in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, that's man, you guys really are like you should write a book. You guys got it. It's 10 months and you're doing great. I'm really proud of y'all and proud of Josh for doing a good job. I question like about Rainforest outside of EOS. You're a plumbing and AC company based in the Phoenix area, is that right? One of my favorite questions on the VTO is on the marketing strategy of what are your 3 uniques. So for anybody who might be in need of services like yours in that area, why Rainforest? What are your 3 uniques?
So Rainforest, we are focused on relationships, and that's really been something that we've tried to keep as a core pillar of our business for really all time. We are commercial focused, and so our goal is to come in not just as the one-off repairman, but as a true partner with those who manage commercial spaces. And so rather than just fix the thing for now or band-aid something, we'll look at some options and talk about short-term, near-term, long-term strategies, for managing that particular asset. And so we pride ourselves on that. Spencer?
Yeah, I'll add, we're committed to partnership. Okay. So we're in this for the long run. That means us losing on the individual job to win in the long term with that relationship. So the next thing is that we're asset focused. We treat our clients' property as an asset to them. It's the same as, your house is a little different than your rental property. The rental property needs to generate income. And if the air conditioner's out for your tenant, then you've got a problem where your livelihood is at stake. But some clients want to sell that property at some point or whatever. So we need to help increase the value of the property. So anyway, the second one's asset focus. And the next one is forward thinking. And that's where we work really closely with our clients to develop new integrations and partnerships. And there's even, some community and charitable stuff that we categorize in that. But those are the things that make our clients' businesses better,
right?
By working together and solving the problems that they would have with other vendors. So
right, that's awesome, cool. And what's the best way for people to find you? If they're listening and need some help, what's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, that is askrain.com, or you can call us at 480-615-7766.
Man, I love it. That's awesome.
And for those who might be following the EOS journey or just interested in business in general, both Spencer and myself are pretty active on LinkedIn. Okay. And so, we'd love for people to reach out and connect there as well.
Awesome. Last thing before we wrap up, if you've listened to the podcast, we always end with a nugget. One little tidbit of information. You guys aren't prepared for this, so no pressure. But if there's someone listening who's considering EOS and they're just kind of on the fence, they don't know, what's one piece of advice you would give them? Whoever wants to go first, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll go first. My piece of advice would be don't wait. There's no good reason to wait to do something like this. you will do a favor to yourself, both for your business, but also for you personally. Everybody has to think about their mental health, and people who run a business undergo a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And this is a great way to cut through all the BS, get out of your headspace, and work towards something really great. And EOS is a fast track toward doing that.
Cool. Thanks. Spencer?
Yeah, my advice is think bigger. You know, you are more capable than what you believe currently, and the people around you are more capable, and they're all waiting for you to start thinking big enough so that they can accomplish the goal.
Man, sage advice from both of you. That's awesome. Spencer, Dallin, thank you so much for joining me on the All Tens podcast today. It's a weird thing to do this without Josh, but I'm glad we only said nice things about him. And I'm so proud of you guys on your journey. Thankful for you for being fierce advocates for your team, for your clients, for EOS even. It's awesome to witness. And so my name is Clay. This has been the All Tens podcast. Like, share, comment. If there's something you want to hear more about or guests you'd like to appear, please drop us a note. And until the next episode, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks much. Bye.